Alright, in the last video we finished the header and the nav. We can see that it works pretty good until it gets to a certain point and then it breaks. And that's what we'll fix with media queries a little bit later. But right now we want to go ahead and get these articles all side by side. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so for that one, that's going to be, we have 3 articles in a section. So I'm just going to say section, display, flex. We'll do file, save all, and refresh. Boom. And up. Not quite right. Alright, so we have these 3 flexing, but we also have this right here flexing. And we didn't want that to flex. These cute kittens has to do with these 3 articles. And we want this to be on top of that. So what we need to do is we need to go back and fix that by going into our HTML. So we have this section, and we have 1. And then, what is this section? What the heck is that? End of child section, end of parent section. I'm not sure I like that. So I'm going to change that because that looks kind of ugly. I'm going to have a thing called section. I don't want that. So our section is going to have this, and then we're going to have this container here. I guess I put that in there for a reason. But I would rather do this. Instead of it being section, I'm just going to make it a div, which is a block level element that has no properties whatsoever. And then I'm going to do dot flex dash container. And what I'm doing with that when I do that is I'm making it a div with a class of flex container. And then when I, wait a second, what happened there? Oh, I can't use, I'll get rid of this. Get rid of this. There we go. A div with a R, and then when I hit tab, you can see it's going to put that class in there automatically for me. The biggest problem is this one right here. This close div closes that flex container, and I want that to be at the end of my articles. So I'm going to cut it out, and then come down here where this other thing is. So you can see I have a closed section here, and that should be a closed div. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab it, select it, and then paste over the top of it that closed div. So you can see how that white line is showing up there at that div. When I go out to the top, it should be up here, and there it is. So these articles are all children of that div. This one right here. So I'm going to just tab all this over. Tab this over a little bit. There we go. Now everything is nicely nested inside. And then what I'm going to do is, instead of being section, I would have to do I got a main section. Ew, that's ugly. So I'm going to do dot flex container. And when I do that, the cute kitten thing will not be part of the flex. It'll be part of the bigger container of section. And I'll go ahead and refresh. Boom. So these are here. And that is that. Alright, so let's see. What do we want to do? Let's go ahead and put some margin in there. I think we have to put a border there too. So not on the flex container, but on section article. Let's do let's try padding first. Put some padding, and we'll do 0 up and down, 10 pixels left and right. File, save all, and refresh. There we go. Let's go ahead now and do some Then we want a border, so we'll do border. And 1 pixel solid black. Okay. Oh, we didn't want, there was no border here. Never mind. Let's get rid of that border. Not so sure that's such a bad idea, but let's go ahead and get rid of it. I'll save all and refresh. Alright, they're kind of looking just like the picture. And then they will accordion in and out based upon that. The only time it gets a little out of whack is when this breaks. That's not such a bad thing. Our breakpoint is actually going to be, well, we got another issue here. See how when I come in here, I got some extra space there? That is probably padding in my UL. So let's go up here to nav UL. And you can see I got 40 pixels of start. You can see when I see the green up there. Alright, so I want to get rid of my padding. So nav UL, and we'll just say padding. What does that? 0. There we go. Alright, so we saw space between. We get down to a certain spot. Right about here, I consider that it breaks. Because now those buttons are no longer there. But let's see, have we finished everything else? Okay, the other problem is our kitten. And what we want to do is let's go ahead and see what we have here. We have a width of 550 and a height of 315. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that. I'm going to cut it actually. Okay, we don't need to have it there. We should have it in our CSS. And that is our footer iframe. And then I'll paste this in just so I can see what's going on. It says reference. I'll say width. Let's see. Max width is 560 pixels. And then we'll do width 100%. Let's see how that works. Let's just get rid of this. We'll do File, Save All, and then refresh. Alright, so nothing changed yet. Move this over. Let's get this in. Okay, it's breaking here. And you can see that it's over 100% because we should be doing this right here. We got some other issues up here. Let's leave this for alone and see what happens when we start. Let me break the other thing. Okay, that's good for now. You see it does some accordioning. See how that gets smaller as we get there. Alright, let's see. 10 minutes. Alright, so now we need to start working on our media queries. Okay, when it gets to here, which is 580. So that'll be our first media query. Alright, so at media only screen and in width 580. This is probably not going to work, but before we do that, let's go up to our nav and let's see how this will work. We're going to do a nav, see, display flex. Let's try. I don't think this is going to look good, but let's try it anyway. We'll do flex, wrap, and we'll do file, save all, and refresh. And you see that they start to wrap. And actually, that's not so bad. Let's do this. Let's do a, not there. For each of these A's, do we have any margin? Let's do margin bottom. Let's do 10 pixels. File, save all, and refresh. Okay. Let's do, instead of margin bottom, even better, so we don't have to fight that other thing. Let's do margin 10 pixels up and down, 0 left and right. There we go. Now, you can see, I like that. I like that. Now the only problem is when we get to here, you can see that the cats flex off like that. And what we want to do is we want to have it so that, what do we want to do? Well, we want that kitten on top and then the little kitten here. So what we want to do is do that in the next lesson because we are out of time in this one. So we'll do file, save all, and we'll finish up a ready meter tray in the last video.